We agreed to let her stay, but if she keeps acting like this, I'm done. I was 10, feet swinging above a crowded cafe floor, gripping hot chocolate while my mom, Rebecca, negotiated my existence on the phone. She didn't say my daughter. She said her, like I was a nuisance with a price tag. A man across from us tucked papers into a fat envelope, guardianship, access to funds, those calm adult phrases that mean your life is being traded. 3 days later, Rebecca dropped me at my grandparents' like a defective purchase. If you were me, what would you do, honestly? And when you hear what I did next, am I in the wrong? Comment and subscribe for the full story. The first time my life blew up, it started with one sentence. My mom didn't know I was listening. I was 10, legs swinging under a cafe chair, hugging a chipped mug of hot chocolate. Rebecca stood near the window, phone to her ear, voice low and mean. Then she said it, soft enough for strangers, sharp enough for me. We agreed to let her stay, but if she keeps acting like this, I'm done. Not my name, not my daughter. Just her, like I was a favor that had an expiration date. Across the table sat a man in a suit. He didn't look at me once. He opened a thick envelope and counted pages like I was paperwork. Guardianship options, yeah, he said. And access to funds. The trust is for Mia's benefit, but there are mechanisms for distribution. On the drive home, Rebecca repeated the same script. This is for your own good. You need structure. We all agreed this is best. Every "we" sounded like a locked door. 3 days later, she packed my suitcase without asking. No sketchbook, no favorite hoodie. Just school clothes, a couple books, and on top, her precious envelope. When we pulled up to my grandparents' house, they were waiting. Grandma Linda hugged me too hard. Grandpa Frank didn't hug at all. Inside, the grown-ups did the fake version of normal. Go upstairs, sweetheart, Linda said. Get settled. I unpacked, then pressed my ear to the door. Frank's voice snapped. You can't just dump her here. Rebecca answered like I wasn't a person. That was the deal. I kept everything together after Ethan died. I earned some control. Ethan, my dad, was a framed photo and a story Rebecca told about drunk driving. She said it so often it felt permanent. Frank fired back. He set that trust up for Mia's education, not for renovations. Rebecca's tone went icy. Those renovations kept a roof over her head. You think raising her is free? Linda's voice came in, quiet but heavy. He never wanted this. Then Rebecca said the line that stole whatever safety I had left. If she keeps acting like this, I'm done. You can take her. Sign whatever you need. If your stomach just dropped, you're not alone. And if you're already furious, stay with me. That night, when the house went quiet, I crept down the hall. The office door was cracked. The envelope was gone, but one page sat under a paperweight. It was my dad's will. The sentence I needed was right there. All remaining funds in the trust are to be used solely for the benefit of my daughter, Mia. Solely, not when convenient, not when my mom feels generous. 2 mornings later, the kitchen smelled like burnt toast, and I realized I couldn't breathe in that house, couldn't live as the agreement adults negotiated. I left a note that said, I'm sorry, because kids like me always apologize for existing. I took $37 from the emergency jar, shoved the will page and one photo of Ethan holding me into my backpack, and walked to the bus station. A police officer crouched in front of me. Hey, kiddo, what's your name? For a second, I almost said, her? Just to taste what they'd turned me into. Instead, I whispered, Mia. They sat me under buzzing lights and handed me cocoa that tasted like paper. Where's your mom? They kept asking. I said, she left me. That's when a tired man in a wrinkled blazer walked in and said, I'm Grant Carter. Her father hired me, and there's an order about this child. After the bus station, everything moved in adult time. Big decisions, tiny explanations. Grant Carter told the officer, there's a trust in Mia's name, and the court needs to see what's been happening. Rebecca arrived with mascara already running. In public, she sounded terrified. In private, her eyes were flat. "Why are you doing this to me?" she hissed, like I'd committed a crime by needing help. Courtrooms became my routine. I learned what best interest means when strangers say it like math. I learned adults can cry on cue and still threaten you in a hallway. I learned my name could be stamped on documents that never once asked how it felt to be treated like a burden. A judge ordered I live with my dad's parents, my grandparents on Ethan's side, in another state while the trust was investigated. Officially, it was placement with relatives. Unofficially, I vanished from Rebecca's narrative. Before I left, she leaned in and whispered, "You're ruining my life." Not "I love you," not "I'll miss you," just "you're the problem." Life with Grandpa Ray and Grandma Susan wasn't a deal. Their house was messy and loud and real. They put my drawings on the fridge. They asked what I wanted for dinner. The first time Susan said, "We're so glad you're here," I waited for the catch. It didn't come. Therapy did, though. Real therapy. The kind where someone repeats, "That wasn't your fault," until your body finally believes it. Grant checked in as the case dragged on. When I turned 16, he handed me a thick folder. "These are yours," he said. "All of them." I opened it on my bedroom floor like I was defusing a bomb. Police reports, court memos, bank statements. Toxicology results proving Ethan was sober the night he died. So Rebecca's drunk driver story was a lie I'd been forced to live inside. Emails where he begged for more time with me. Pages of transfers from Mia Trust into Rebecca's personal account, not small amounts. Enough to steal a future. One line in a legal memo made me nauseous. The primary custodian appears to be using the child's trust as leverage. Leverage, that's what I'd been. Not a daughter, pressure. At 17, I Googled my mom's name. I expected missing kid articles. Instead, I found glossy interviews. Rebecca Hill, child psychologist. Author, speaker. She was on morning shows smiling and telling parents, "Our daughter ran away once." But I didn't let guilt control me. I sat there thinking, she turned my pain into her brand. She made herself the hero and me the cautionary tale, without mentioning the trust, the lies, or the fact she'd tried to sign me away the second I became inconvenient. That's when my anger changed. 10-year-old anger burns. 17-year-old anger builds. I went to art school on scholarships and the trust money that finally got protected. I learned how to turn grief into images. And then I discovered digital media, how truth can live inside files, links, and receipts. So I made myself a promise. I wasn't going to beg Rebecca to see me. I was going to make it impossible for the world not to. One night, I watched her on a live stream panel. She laughed and said, "Kids think they have power when they rebel, but parents hold the real power." I paused the video and felt my throat tighten. If you've ever had an adult rewrite your reality, you know that dizzy, angry silence. Tell me in the comments, would you have let it go or would you have fought back? My revenge didn't start with screaming. It started with a picture. That chipped café mug, my 10-year-old hands wrapped around it while adults decided if I was worth keeping. I painted it. I called the piece Agreement. From far away, it looked almost gentle. Up close, the lines around the mug weren't decoration. They were broken legal phrases twisted into barbed wire. And in the corner was a quiet doorway to the truth. I wasn't chasing drama. I was chasing the first breath I'd been denied since I was 10. Grant helped me put the facts in order. Documents, dates, highlighted sentences, and one calm video where I finally said, "My name is Mia, and my mother didn't lose me. She let me go." We sent Rebecca a plain brown box. Inside, a mug, like the one from the cafe, a photo of me at 10, a copy of Ethan's will with one line highlighted, solely for Mia's benefit, and my painting. No apology note, just one sentence on top. This was the agreement you never kept. 2 days later, I was in the back seat of my grandparents' car, driving toward the house I hadn't seen since I was 10. My heart was punching my ribs. Ray and Susan held hands so tight their knuckles went white. The driveway was full, and we could hear voices before we hit the porch. The front door was half open. The living room looked like one of Rebecca's interviews, curated, perfect, except now it was wrecked. Papers everywhere, printouts and screenshots. and that mug on its side, coffee spreading across the table like a stain. Rebecca stood in the middle of it, phone to her ear. "It's taken out of context," she was saying. "It's a smear campaign." Then she turned and saw me. Her face emptied. No camera smile, no soft therapist voice, just raw shock. Ray spoke first. "Hello, Rebecca." She hung up. "What are you doing here?" Her voice tried to climb into control, but it cracked. Her eyes locked on me. You're alive." "I've been alive," I said. "You just preferred the version of the story where I wasn't." My uncle stared at the papers. "They know about the transfers," he muttered. Rebecca snapped, "Those records aren't public. They have to be fake." Grant stepped forward, calm as a metronome. "They're real, and you know they're real." Rebecca's voice turned venomous. "You're destroying me." And that's when I surprised myself with how steady I sounded. "No, you destroyed us. I'm just returning the narrative to the person you erased. If this is making you furious, I get it. Hit like and tell me in the comments, what would you do if your own parent turned your trauma into a brand?" Rebecca sank onto the couch, staring at the highlighted line in Ethan's will like it was a knife. "So what happens now?" she whispered. Grant handled the legal part. Investigations, restitution, corrections, consequences. But she looked at me for the personal part. I slid a thin envelope onto the table. "This is a statement you can sign," I said. "Admit what you did with the trust. Correct what you said about my dad. Whether you sign it or not, I'm going to be fine." Her fingers hovered. "And if I sign? Then maybe one day we talk," I said. Not as therapist and case study, not as hero and villain, just as two people who finally stopped lying. I didn't wait for her answer. I walked out into air that felt finally like it belonged to me. When the fallout finally settled, it didn't feel like fireworks. It felt like quiet. Rebecca stepped down from panels. Her publisher paused the next book. People wrote careful statements about values, and for once, nobody could use my silence as proof of her innocence. Grant called months later and said the trust was being restored, and Rebecca had signed the statement, correcting the lies about Ethan and the money. A week after that, I got a letter from her. Not a performance, just shaky handwriting and one line that hit harder than any courtroom. For once, you get to decide. I didn't run to forgive her. I didn't run to punish her either. I put the letter in a box with my dad's will and that old cafe photo because some wounds need distance to heal without being reopened. So here's my question to you. Am I in the wrong for exposing my mother instead of handling it quietly? If you were the kid treated like her, would you have protected her reputation or protected your truth? Drop your take in the comments, and if you want more real stories with receipts, hit subscribe and share this with someone who needs it.